Hi, Will.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, I'm fine. Just thinking about BCP, continuity plan, what we should do in order to face another CrowdStrike outage or maybe other vendor outage in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, we've always got to be planning, always got to be looking for the risk, right?
Yeah, so Will, tell me, what is business continuity plan and why do we need it?
So, business continuity planning, different. There's different ways to look at it. There's business continuity planning. There's continuity of operations. I mean, different industries call it different things, but ultimately, it's planning for failure. And if that happens, depending on the severity of failure, how we can work and keep the business running until systems can be recovered and back online.
Yeah, I understand. And I guess that CrowdStrike outage makes the BCP very, very relevant.
It does, right? And we see it. I see it on the news. About every channel still talking about the outage. There's airlines and airports that have been down for 5 days. Major disruption. And when you start looking at there's airlines that are flying, and they came out and said, yeah, we didn't have a problem, but we're on Windows 3.1, right? And so, really, when you plan for these outages, looking at sometimes modern cutting edge cloud base, you name it, you got to plan for what happens if it's offline.
Yeah, the problem is that I guess BCP plan or the BCP is relevant for outage and incidents that well known. And in CrowdStrike outage is something that I guess many of the companies didn't think about in the BCP plan. If they have so, it doesn't include facing outages like the CrowdStrike.
See, I what I look at when I look at a business continuity plan is, we used to be able to do business on pen and paper, calculator, pen and paper, right? As long as you could take payment, write a receipt, and log that in a book. Even the old journals, financial journals. We've been doing business, since the start of time, right? Uh, when you look at being able to keep a business running, if your main system's offline or your approving executive is not available, due to illness, due to being out of country, due to whatever, or power outages, or you name it, right? We can't plan. We can't imagine the sheer volume of disasters or what can take our systems offline. But what we can do is sit there and plan and say, what is critical to my business? How do we make money? How can we keep making money if some of our critical systems are offline? And that's really what continuity planning is understanding that if there's a major outage and we're 100% down and we're a technology company, there may not be a lot you can do. But you're at least planning, it, and everybody involved, and it's documented, so it's not a surprise.
Yeah, let's take an example. Let's say that we are in a legal company, 200 employees. So it's not so small, not so big, and we use CrowdStrike and Microsoft.
Yep.
What could we do in advance to face such an outage?
So so the continuity plan, the way these work, we take what is our asset inventory, right? What systems do we have? And then we start putting business priority. So, right, we say, or you can do it reverse. You can say, how do we make money? Right? What are the lines of business? How do we make money? And then we say, okay, we do legal services. Okay, that's our main line of business. And we say, okay, what systems do we have? What systems, people, process, facilities, buildings, offices, everything do we need to be able to provide that service? So we can start saying, well, we have a legal office in this city. Okay, inside that legal office, we have all of our servers, or we have some of our servers in the cloud. And then that holds our case data, right, for each of our cases. And then we start saying, okay, if that building was offline for 72 hours, how bad would it be? If it was offline for a week, how bad would that be? And then we start stepping back and we start saying, okay, for the business to continue, how long can we be offline? And then if we needed to prioritize what services to bring back up to keep the business running, which ones need to come up in what order, right? And then that's facilities, that's buildings, that's physical locations, that's servers, that's applications. It's what data do we need, and then what people, right? So if we're in an emergency and my generator's out of fuel, and I need to call the CFO to get a fuel truck to come bring us fuel to keep our generators running, and I need an emergency authorization for a purchase, I can't wait, right? So I need to know how to get those approvals.
Mm-hmm.
All of these things are what we plan for in a business continuity. So we can't predict like what happened with CrowdStrike, but we can plan how we react when there's an outage.
Yeah. And I guess BCP is part of many of the common frameworks that we use or company using to ensure that they are compliant or cybersecurity.
Yeah, I would say just about every, except for your privacy focused frameworks,
Mm-hmm.
all of your security focused frameworks all have, a semblance of disaster recovery, business continuity, backups, call it what you will. There's different aspects, but they all have some way of saying if your data is offline or corrupted or missing or unavailable, how do you keep going?
Yeah. So I guess one thing is to go over your BCP plan if you have it, and those that don't have it, to start thinking immediately about how to face such an outage or any other incidents according to what we described earlier.
Yeah.
Um,
If it's on paper, it's easy to follow. I would say, simple scenario, we have a blackout during the summer, right? So we have no power. What do
mhm.
we do when there's no power? Or we saw it 4 years ago with COVID. What happens when there's a pandemic and we need to send people home,
Yeah.
right? All of these are a part of continuity planning. And, I would hope by now a lot of companies have a little bit of continuity plan after COVID. Uh, but this outage with CrowdStrike just furthers that it's not, whether it's a pandemic, whether it's COVID, whether it's a natural disaster, war, we've got a plan, and these plans can be different, right? They can be different for different lines of business. They can be different for different disasters or different levels of outage. But essentially, it's plan it, test, and run exercises.
Yeah, well, from my experience, it's sometimes easier to start this cybersecurity journey or BCP journey by having some kind of templates or asking the right questions.
Yeah,
Do do you think that companies could use some kind of standard templates that help them and give them the guidance they need in order to make sure that they have the proper BCP plan?
absolutely. When I look at BCP, you can have one for the whole company. You can say, how
Mm-hmm.
does the company go? But you can get very detailed and start breaking that down and say, for each line of business, or each system, or each department, or each, so a business continuity plan at a high level, any business can do. It's asking the right questions, right? So I know we created a template that, helps us document this, like who's involved, contacts, what facilities, if there's an alternate place we're meeting, if the main building's offline. It's asking these right questions, documenting it. But then as businesses mature with continuity planning, they can actually get more detailed or
Mm-hmm.
start, adding. So I have a continuity plan. If my headquarters is offline, I've got a continuity plan. if our cloud instance is down, and right, you can start adding to these. So a company can have one business continuity plan, or they could have hundreds, right? As long as they're accessible, offline, because we always, I always
Yeah.
hope for the company that, hey, all of our continuity documentation's on our server and our server's down. So,
Yeah. So I guess the best is to start and to have the first one, and then to go one business unit after another, and make sure that we understand and make the others BCP's plan.
yeah, absolutely. Always starting is better than not doing.
Yeah. So I have an idea. So maybe we could share with our audience one of our templates of BCP. What do you think,
Absolutely.
Bill?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it would help. I think it's proper timing. I think after this last week, I know I was heavily involved. My morning started. This outage started at 12:30 a.m. my time, and by 4 o'clock we were in the office starting to work on servers. So it definitely affected a lot of us. And I think sharing a template and businesses that were, I would say, blindsided, that had no idea how to handle something like this. I think a template and sharing that's going to help them.
Yeah, so template it is. We will provide one, and I guess we'll have a link with the post that we'll publish with this video. So and we'll take the best template you have, the ones that help you with the CrowdStrike outage.
Yeah, I'll send it over.
Perfect. So thank you for this excellent insights.
Yeah, thank you. Happy
Okay.
to help.
Yeah, thanks. Bye bye.